and welcome to this Sunday stream. Today we'll be doing some more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let me just slow down the music right here. So last year we left off when it came to Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We finished the first part of the investigation for episode 4. We'll be continuing with the investigation because it's like that at 8 to be continued. So our dependent is a fellow Japanese man, very eccentric though. We also met Iris Watson, the mysterious girl who has the same name as John Watson. Anyways, we'll be continuing, and let me just load the game here. Maybe I should, maybe like for the next streams. After this, I should maybe like prepare like Sherlock facts or like tidbits. I don't know. Anyways, 19th February, 2:38 p.m. Briar Road. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. And before I forget, unmute the Swiss audio. Not making that mistake again. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes. And let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Um, uh, excuse me, Inspector Gregson. Do you have a moment? Sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. I forgot my voice for Gregson, damn it. Must be busy talking to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have this for you. A present from Miss Iris Watson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here, at once. Come on, hand over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see, you mean. That's right. For the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Gracie always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me, every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course, her using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel, just over there, look. Oh, that one? On the first floor of that house in the corner where that wreckable bicycle's propped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garridan. Right, well, you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector. We will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. Well, At least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes. So then. So you go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Right, so now we can go to like that new location. I love water. Don't worry, unlike last stream, I won't be like you munching on cookies during this stream. Not now. 19th February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Doesn't very look Japanese to me. Oh, here we go. May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garrideb? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say... I can't do the voice. And who may I say is calling? We'll go with that. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruto is representing Mr. Sasaki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. Ooh. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. Ooh. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garrideb. Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. You saw an English maid already before during your trial last chapter. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garrideb will see you now. This way. I can't really keep the voice for long. Let's just Sam into place first. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That old thing? Bah, that's no more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon around the house. Really? It isn't overkill. Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted road is going to throw at you next, boy. Do you think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Gaiden? This, mind you, if we continue playing this around like the 1890s, the first game, and around like, you know, at the onset of like turning into like the 1900s, just around like, you know, 14 years later would be pretty much the First World War. Always is. Big Joe in here. Maybe Pilsuki have a clean apron on the serve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon deck, Joe tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel. Oh, wait, hang on, how is my... Why is it low battery? I'm not amused by this. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge candles like it's hanging in head and its head in shame. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly that it's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Bah, not much better than rags, really. Oh? Or that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know? I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Those are artillery shells. Are those mortar shells? I can't pronounce right now. Are those mortar shells? Ah. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. Ah, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Ah, those old things. Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know? We got a bit of a colorful regiment folklore that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately exactly. They're only scrap iron after all, usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Drone here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day whilst he was dusting. Oh no. Haven't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe we consider throwing them away? That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What? That old thing? I swear, I'm gonna have like every time they say that old thing, I'm gonna take a shot of water. Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn on his grave if I dispose of it. The wall's the best place for it. He gets the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished designed by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation." Sounds like the kind of honors you and I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet. I was getting that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. That portrait of Mr. Garda is glaring at me, I swear. Have you noticed that all the little frames containing photograph prints of Mr. Garida as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket. Seemed to come back? What do you mean? The chap who runs the place, a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something, then came up with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. So Salson doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter. Look at the enormous screen! It must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, and it seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Him? Him? Maybe let's not, Mrs. Sato. Oh god, I do that to him, it's like... How wonderful it is to see all of you here tonight. Before we know it, we're doing Umbrage. I think the mate's going to head us up with a cup of tea. Him. There's something down there that I want to see. This window looks over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I can make out the police on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Does this thing open at all, I wonder? I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir. Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. And there's really a clue. We should have noted that down. Look at this crockery in display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my! A genuine London dresser. That's not a dresser, it's literally just shelves. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken, and the crockery is, oh dear, is in pieces. It really is. The word crack wouldn't do that China word justice. Ah, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was spied at it. Yes, probably something like that, but let's not delve too deeply here. Ah, that candle is for the candlestick here. This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. It's here supposed to be gold, but it's also completely black for some reason. Ah, that old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery. Gimcrack, really. Oh, used it when I was studying, don't you know? For my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to really, but, well, it still has its uses sometimes. Of course. Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it? The memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver stand. Lined up looks more like someone has helped demolish them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Gandalf's custom to take 2 takes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Gandalf doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up. How magnanimous of you. Anything else? Don't think so. Oh, there's books here. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Garded. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experience a London winter, boy? The nights are long. No better way to pass the time than in front of the fire with a jolly good book. Oh, there's a copy of Rand's magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garded enjoys the adventures of Sherlock Holmes too. The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. Is that it? Is that all you had to conjure, Saruman? Good day to you. John Gardner, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Yonosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of May 1, didn't you know? I earned a medal for my pains, but I had to withdraw from service. Head over to the range to the up-and-comings. So he's a tired soldier. He's have a job getting up and down the stairs now. I can't tell you. Don't get up much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the 2nd floor, isn't it? I was standing at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garideb, no doubt you're very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Would like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let's see if we'll see it properly. Joan, fetch that. Ah! That's it, old woman. Be careful. Oh, dear me. I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So, anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes. We would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only 2 please, naturally. Since it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? You had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, I don't think, business. Oh, but you have a copy of Brand's magazine here, so... no. Anyway... Anyway, the chap's investigating the pointless room as he speaks. So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's about a nuisance for this. The whole neighborhood's switching its curtains now. Don't like all this fuss, it's jolly unsettling. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garden, please do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. I've been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then. I had 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. There have been... That's it, old Joan. Do be careful. Oh my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. If I had shady written across his sweat so probiously. I said to myself, June, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm very wrong about anything. Won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. He's dying to tell us. If you don't know about like the anti-iconography process of breeding these characters, Joan is meant to be like a sun by the sign on of her head, while John or Garda seems like it's meant to be the moon. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes! The man was seedier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. And I never so much passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single bicycle car. He just trots out to that old bookstore every single day, because we could find the light of gas fire. In the funny little man, it's up long past the time everything else is on. The house has gone back to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor gets up at noon, around 9 each night again. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh! I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor in street level. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodger? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times that they go to bed. Good grief, John. Be more careful. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out at the window around that time? A window?
Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the GAA household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joe?
No, sir. It would seem that in dusk are aside already at that hour.
Okay, that voice might be better for Joe.
And with the fog as well, I think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh, I see.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as?
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated?
Well,
Yes, was there something then?
well, something particularly significant, but around that sort of time in here, there... Ah! For the love of God, Joan, what's what you're doing?
Dear me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir.
Do be more careful, woman.
Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow.
Oh, yes?
You have an extremely good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Oh, really, Mr. Garden? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really, nothing of... Ah! Joe, that's it all. What's the matter with you, woman?
Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened.
Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet and eventful meeting, Chum?
That's right, Mr. Garden.
What's the matter with these two?
It sounds like something happened here in this room the evening of the incident, but what?
Tell you. Right, I'll just get through this voice because my voice is tiring. Right, don't have to do anything that's not gonna hurt. Those two voices hurt my throat a lot. But it's Holmes again, so it'll be fine. Yeah, that is quite an insane amount of books, not even properly arranged. What? Just look at this place. And smell it, it's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that.
I don't think I'd ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me either.
It's so dark in here too. Is that the window over there?
But it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. For some reason it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. This is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Holmes anywhere, have you?
No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garda told us, the great detectives be around here somewhere investigating. Right. Actually, no, before we do anything, go back first, we'll save here. Salmon, lucky cat.
Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, is it? Sorry, Mr. Nasman didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Dharma doll that you brought in your luggage?
Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad on that lucky charm.
But I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same. And this cat is sure to beckon good luck for him.
Is that doing a very good job so far, is it?
You mustn't say such things.
I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes as a giveaway? Okay, there's something strange there.
This bridge is a sort of meter on the wall here that's very robust. Wonder what's for. There's a stopper entering here. Ah! I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. A gas meter? Yes, it seems there's pipe gas in this district, which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights in the gas fire for the whole night. So if you're too poor to have a coin, you have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold. Okay, it's only really in like the rich or like upper like or middle class parts that actually had this kind of piping. A lot of London at the time didn't have this sort of system. That's right. As for the rich man who only carried crisp white notes. Ugh, London's a scary place. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature. They all smell so musty. Just buying books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. Bad dream, maybe, for me at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the books that's at the bottom of the pile will ever be read again. Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime. Just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down to path of tea ceremony philosophy. There's a lot to unpack here. Nothing in the bag. Check the window. Could you even call this a window? I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would you break it up like that? I'm afraid I had no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a pit of whimsy. That's alarmingly feasible, anyway, whatever the reason. The lack of ventilation here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine it being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. Ah, look at that kid. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. Don't know about that. It's weird that pile of books as quick as a blast. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse within the mountain of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Was on all sides with his starring old tomes, really enjoying what books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Yore Books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name's on it too. Look, the date of purchase, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. Yay, new evidence. Right, let's examine that new evidence and see if there's anything there. Oh, there you are, Holmes. Ah! Look, Mr. Naruhodo! Aha! There he is! Where do you appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope you won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Holmes? Ah, you too. Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Holmes. We were together on the SS Beria. Yes, of course, the Beria. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Sogi. He died, tragically. But you were a great help to us. Ah yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh, well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Sherlock Holmes. This is Mr. Oh no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I find myself in my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato. Try it the other way around, Mr. Holmes. I'll lose the first round. He has 5 as well. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street site the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station with me away to a crime scene. It was an entire trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. They apprehended Sagisan in that short amount of time? And I paid the pursuers with new cases, told my recollection of my past involvements. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to an extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yeah, that's very in character for Holmes. Yes, those are my own words of immutable wisdom, you know. For an adventure called A Study in Scarlet. Oh my god. Don't tell me this case is based on, like, you know, the Study in Scarlet story. From what you might not know, A Study in Scarlet is one of the oldest Sherlock Holmes stories. As in, wait, it wasn't one of the oldest, it was literally their first ever appearance. So it introduced Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson. I don't think Lestrade was in this at the time, so no. Basically, in A Study of Scarlet, it introduces Sherlock Holmes, Watson, Lestrade, and Gregson. Yes, that Inspector Gregson. He's a Sherlock Holmes character. I think also, like, the name Wilson was also, like, you know, gotten from Sunny and Scarlet, but I'm not sure. Because, like, also another fun fact about A Star in Scarlet is that because, like, it was one of his, like, you know, main I think oh no, it was in the 1933 film A Star in Scarlet. It inspired previous, like, Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None with, like, a particular element. Serious, like, they didn't really, like, have anyways, like, really, like, in the games, like, they didn't really have, like, Gregson, like, take the Straw Space's inspector for Scotland Yard.
They were both inspectors for Scotland Yard. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose.
Mr. Holmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned.
Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madame, I shall be only too pleased. This murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Sosuke Natsume. It seems like you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Holmes, for stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road.
Natsume, yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
What?
Can't believe you're looking Sato squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. It appears that the pair of you are under some misapprehension.
Oh? How?
I assure you, I had no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request to me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene.
Ah, a man seen fleeing.
There were a number of books scattered on the pavement of the scene. When the book late, I was quickly able to determine the books from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question.
So you don't think Mr. Natsume is a culprit then? They didn't say that.
That I could not tell you. But it's aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I find myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of belief, sir. No.
Oh dear.
Tell me.
Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings?
Yes, Mr. Gardner, a retired military man.
It was the first time I'd ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services.
It was the first time I ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service.
No, I didn't think it was that funny.
I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to be token the social standing of those dwelling therein.
Betoken their social standing.
Sorry? But simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness! How extraordinary!
You have indentured service in Japan, it's not that, weird. As you can appreciate. For those with the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of first importance.
I had no idea.
And it's for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Gardner.
Oh?
Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on circumstances to this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm entirely lost what he may say. This room is thoroughly suffocating with the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place as this will stab somebody sooner or later.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
But sooner or later, as I said.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Holmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks.
Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax. What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Yes, window tax is for a thing. As well as, salt tax, produce tax, job tax. Though it's primarily they were like used, the country that the most taxes for every little thing was like I think pre-revolutionary France, and also revolutionary France, pretty much. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps rapidly closed windows up, while the rich opened windows here, there, and everywhere. An effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust, forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed. Disease was ripe as a result. For some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsmith's stipend for living here in London wasn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is awful, I think. Apparently, Mr. Natsmith only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here, a matter of not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remember that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well, then I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who led the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant in this room. There are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, what is it, Mr. Holmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is relevant to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Gardabis. Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could have established Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Gardab's secrets. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Anything here? No. Oh wait, last stop. Balls of paper. Nothing there either, huh? Right, so I guess I need to talk to them again.
Ah, you fell again? Tell me, was it that chap what's name still hard of work down there?
Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, yes, rings a bell. Ah, that was doing my thing, I'm afraid.
Well, Mr. Holmes is in his element down there.
Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Sharon. Now then, why don't you tell me what... Ah! For the umpteenth time, woman, will you what's on your body? Well, do it!
I shall be... I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you'd be so kind.
Oh, yes, of course. We are deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
According to Mr. Holmes, Mr. Garland was hiding something. Digging. And he's there again! Really? Ah, what's he doing over there? Mr. Holmes. Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows!
Good gracious! When did you sneak in here?
Sherlock Holmes, at your service.
What were you doing over...
What are you doing over by the window? I'm given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, it gives us the room downstairs and down this is. It lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner space for the window up there.
Well?
Keeping an eye out to one's windows at dusk is a prudent thing to do in London gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Wait, he's not talking about Issy. I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Do you mean Mr. Holmes? There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial trifles. I take it you're prepared, Miss Naruhodo? I think so. There's just time enough for one of my great admired great deductions. But let's conclude the matter before dark. Oh boy, here we go. Mr. Garib, though it would seem you're a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements.
I beg your pardon?
The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! Dome has broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Holt's conclusions both spot on.
How could you possibly?
How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. I won't be reading this, I will skip through it for now. It's starting with the line. We'll read it during the cross-examination part.
Oh, there's a fire. I already know what's wrong. It's quite simple, really. Ah! What's the matter with you, Joe? And you're pouring squirting hot tea all over me.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gaiden. I'm afraid I didn't notice.
My dust is coming to start in his shop. Is that the reason your cup runneth over? Indeed, whereas it's coming people spill tears at times too. Mr. Holmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Miss Nardo. What is it again? But this is just now. Do you really think a lion could have been inside the room with the signs? Indeed. I had a feeling that was coming.
A slight massage. That's all Mr. Holmes' deductions need. You can do it.
Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner to step forward, Mr. Hodo. You don't even know you're just gonna have a chance here still. Let's start again! From the beginning of Sherlock Holmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Cheer up, not sure what you mean by that, my throat just hurts, really. My brain's like fine. It certainly doesn't take a great detective to see that the fearsome beasts have been on the rampage of late within these four walls. What form might this beast take? Flying thing coming. Mrs. Cars.
It's rather seems as though some beasts did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yes, so something with a very fierce nature. But it could be a lion transferred from India. So what was it then?
We must follow Mr. Garidev's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer.
It's a photograph frame, isn't it?
Take that!
Behind the lion statue at the mouthpiece, almost deliberately hidden from view, is a photograph. Though you had the silent detail, I'm sorry it holds the answer. That's not. Don't tell me some mortar shells.
Take that!
No, it's not. Okay, save here. It can't be the medal. What is it then? Wait, we need to sign it first. What's his photograph? Here's me from Mr. Garrida's wedding. I forgot I kept pressing B, that's why I wouldn't examine. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face. I wonder what happened.
Take that!
Okay, that was it. I knew it had something to do with the detective photograph. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that newlywed bride. Precisely, Miss Naruto. No other explanation could possibly fit. Yes, this frame print features your wife, Mr. Gardev. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Oh, indeed, surely any woman with such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point. Too late, the fact remains that the beast would so clearly savage this room was your wife, Mr. Gardev. Seeing trace about Ran's to famous evidence. Man. That's fragile, oh dear. Anyway, Mr. Host is quite right. The beast's current whereabouts. Oh, hello.
Take that!
Okay, it wasn't that. We only have 2 chances left. Let's not screw this up. We still have part 2 to do, but then it resets anyway. How do I figure this out? Okay. Oh, there it is.
Take that!
Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Ah! Indeed it does. That part of land gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown in the hand of Mr. Garda's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garda's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garda herself. My... Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you already surmised, this is the wife, yes. My Joan. Better let it go, am I say? Ah! It appears that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I will soon, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid, would that be correct? Yes, that's right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? My god, he is the sort of thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London, one is rather judged. A household can't be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. So in my considered opinion, such concerns or appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garda has his wife work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garda? Only in company, obviously. But listen here. This must remain a secret. Tip-top secret. Please! I am playing these are our 2 witnesses. Okay, Sakchi.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, to deliver up that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garda? Well, yes. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah. How the graces how did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let's read to the next one. Yeah, it's not the pile of bills. Oh, hello. Wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Leaf marks.
Take that!
Yes,
It's this love note that has been given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Catch it indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, that's what Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here. Ugh. But I don't know the body woman. You don't know her. That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I would say. Ah! A likely story. Not a Joe thing I explained at the time. I bought the book at the second-hand place and that note must already been there. So the reason I ordered the book was to see the note as a bookmark, you mean? That's right, that's what I'm saying. Ah! A likely story! Take a look at the name, it's written to James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. Ah! A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? Ah! There we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you need some beast with the most ferocious bite. Now, in the puppet of brains. It's not the cupcakes, it's the candlestick.
Take that!
And there we have it. Yes, this way the diary saved the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the rents of process stacking with the carpets, the bar is clearly visible. Scorch marks. Indeed they are. The scorch marks are the airs to clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks. It appeared that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. This guides my arm muscles have been impressed not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. The force of a strike caused a count upon the hoarder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight and the whole corridor room in flames. Yes, but the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. In this room, the ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. See, there's but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Holmes, sir. I salute you! Elementary. He's that song with tonight, you know. Not gonna do but really proud of the fire. Luckily, there's a good second bookstop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. Ah! Here we go again. The carpet. Great to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke, couldn't see a boy thing. Over here, Mr. Gaiden. Well, you're the Northern Hide now, if you allow me. Had all my favorite novels in that case. But as the pirate got hold of them, that was it. Woofs. Up in smoke. Gosh, the white side hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been.
There was I, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. And suddenly books incoming 10 to the dozen. First of this allows my favorite, book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? Ah yes! The notorious love of big cats coming true again. I assure you the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. Superman did was something under the exam grades.
Mr. Hall's deductions turned out to be correct once again.
It can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it's called Chronicles. Planes everywhere and the old stick in the full pedal. Of interest, what time of day was that? I'm not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now, let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think.
So that's at the same time as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window in the street below.
Huh, even more terrifying than the inside, I can assure you. The whole Blighty could have been flapping outside my window at that moment. I would have noticed a dash thing.
Oh, really? Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Mr. Naruto. But I think we got to the bottom of Mr. Garden's situation now. What was it to do with Mr. Natsume's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. My dear fellow, recall I did say it was from the outset. Bear in mind that all things fall into only two categories. Those rather the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. Well, the matter is of far greater importance that you make up your mind now. Sorry. Visiting out of the prison will soon be over. No. Oh yes, that's right. But I want to examine that bookcase. Throw sight. So. My whole collection of it smoke, you know, for those notes I adored so much.
Well, John, whose fault is that?
Not mine, that's for sure. Well, whoever made up the thing. I'm quite sure you can buy some new old books to replace it, can't you? New old books. Right, I guess back to the prison then. Oh my god.
I naughty, not old man. What did I press?
When I call an old man, you rum-looking ninny filly.
There are more things inhibiting that ratio that are dreamt into your personality.
Who's this ratio fella, eh? What are you on about?
Excuse me.
What the? Wait now.
I'm sorry, it just looks as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Nelson Naruto, is a lawyer, you see.
A lawyer? What?
I can be of any assistance and have you help.
Fine, I'll be on my way for the day, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet.
Get you to a nunnery.
Do I look like a blooming nun to you? Oh no. I wanted the investigation to be over, but I have to keep going.
I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you.
What was that all about?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt up in your philosophy.
I'm not Horatio either.
Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the guarded residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode.
This guy mentioned another lodger, didn't he? Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor?
Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy of a polemis in my battle of words near could there be. Sorry, battle, you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I fight long into the night. I see. I don't understand, but since Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden, so good gentlemen. I can tarry here no longer. Pretty well. Didn't understand him, but I think he's turned to his room. Oh no. Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. Oh, my throat. We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Novel, nurturing, never failing Nipponese. What? Did you follow us? It is through friendship, transcending international borders, I want to appreciate the fact. So this is my belief, at least. It's you! You miserable, rotten spy, Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Holmes? Oh, I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed at tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is bedamned! Didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. For a man's lodgings, and indeed for tomorrow's trial. Sure, we're gonna breeze through this for a bit. I had to let my throat rest for a moment. Oh no, he couldn't have shooting. Uh-huh. I did Dodo Danpo Doomed. When you said accursed lodges before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garda's house, I assume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself.
Yeah, yes, we'll be back, yeah.
You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. What? What do you mean, Mr. Holmes? Make up my own mind on what I used to believe in and what is not. Because I believe in something I do. The circus can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an environmental error of judgment, nothing more. Which I'll judge as a reduced excuse in my opinion. Meaning, whether or not one should trust another is the final analysis down to oneself. It's a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right, locum student Mr. Naoto Esquire. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. You're so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it's time we're leaving, I believe. Already? Between us, Robert, the guard will be here shortly to escort us out. If there's here, this is excellent chat. Would you care to join me? Oh dear. Mr. Nasumi, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. The local student Mr. Naoto the Esquire. As I said, I only experienced this court for the first time yesterday, and though the man representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial! What to believe in, the defendant, justice or truth, how to believe even. But I think I finally worked it out. I decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Right up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. Casa believed in me, and Mr. Holmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Sega-san has no one. So alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. And that's it. We could end it here now, actually.
Yeah, trial part 1. It's coming multiple parts to it. Uh, I mean, we could continue, but we already have been at it for like 1.5 hours, so we could just like, continue on. Yeah, it will probably take us like I'd rather like do the trial proper in like another stream, so it's like we'll end it here for now. We'll continue on next time, which will be next Sunday. Uh, Tomorrow's stream on Monday we'll be continuing with more Lego Skywalker Saga. So what can we do to schedule as is? So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.